Welcome to a Saturday baking session again. We're going to make some cookies this time. We're going to make some chocolate chip cookies. However, these could be paleo chocolate chip cookies. Now these won't be, because I haven't been able to source dairy-free chocolate. It's not I just haven't. The chocolate I had isn't dairy-free. If it was dairy-free and at least 70% cocoa, you could argue that it's suitable for a paleo diet, if you like. So if we left the chocolate chips out, these would be paleo cookies. Okay, we're making them with almond flour. Okay, it's got clarified butter in it, it's got ghee in it, but I'm taking it, I don't know paleo diet, I don't do a paleo diet, but I'm taking it that's obviously acceptable because it said it was, right? So there's no sort of normal flour or anything like that in it. So first thing we need to do is we need to chop up our chocolate chips. Okay, I've got 128 grams here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to get these chopped up with my big chopper. Right, so that's my chocolate chipped. Okay, now you want two bowls for this. One to mix in some ingredients, and the other bowl will mix everything in eventually. Okay, so in this bowl I'm going to place the almond flour. Now I've got here 144 grams of almond flour. So I'm just going to tip that in there. And then, what am I adding to that? Almond flour, baking powder and baking soda. Okay, so I've got half a teaspoon of baking soda. Yeah, half a teaspoon of baking soda. And then a quarter teaspoon of baking powder. In that goes. Sorry, that was a quarter teaspoon of salt. And there is my half a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so that goes in there, and then we just want to give that a bit of a mix around. Okay, just mix them all together, just knock out any of the lumps in the flour. Okay, and then we're just going to set that by until we're ready to add that in. Okay, and then this is where you're going to want another bowl. Okay, and at this point we're going to melt, we want to make sure our ghee is melted. Now mine's a little bit, but I'm just going to warm that up a little bit just to make sure it's done. Now you're going to need the oven on about 180, okay, middle shelf, okay, and some baking mats to lay these cookies out on. Okay, so I've got my 57 grams of melted ghee in there, and now I'm going to add 57 grams of coconut sugar. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to get these all combined together. Okay, I'm using a fairly stiff whisk. You could use a spoon, I suppose, but we just want to get that nicely all mixed together. Okay, and then the only other ingredients you're going to need, other than obviously that flour we've got in that bowl and other stuff, is some vanilla extract and an egg. Okay, it's quite a simple little thing. Okay, and obviously if you're putting the chocolate chips in, the chocolate chips which we've got ready there chopped up. Okay, so I'm just going to finish mixing this in. Right, I've separated my egg into the egg white and the yolk. I only want the white in this case. And now I'm just going to add a teaspoon of vanilla essence. And I'm just going to mix that in. And then I'm going to add in that egg white. And again, we're just going to whisk that into that mixture. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that's all well mixed. Right, so now we're just going to add in that flour. Okay, and again, obviously, we're just going to get that all mixed in. I think at this point I'm going to switch and mix it with the spatula. Okay, right, so that's incorporated together. So now we're just going to add them chocolate chips, and we're just going to fold them into the mixture. Now my chips are quite large, so I'm not going to shove all that chocolate in there straight away. okay, because I'm not sure I'm going to bother using all of them, to be honest. So I'm just going to make sure they're evenly mixed through. So now we're going to do our cookies. Now these shouldn't spread too much when they cook, okay. They're only going to cook for about eight odd minutes, okay. And we're going to want little balls to begin with, about 1.5 teaspoons in size, okay. And then just roll them up, place them on your mat, and we'll flatten them in a bit, okay. So it's just making these balls, like I say, about 1.5 teaspoons. You're going to need to leave some room between them, okay, because remember we're going to be flattening these, okay. So I'm just going to roll my balls, my chocolate chip balls. Right, so all I'm doing is just gently pressing down so they spread out a little bit. Now you could use something like a bottom of a cup or something, but I tried that just now and this stuff is pretty sticky and it just sticks to it, okay. So I'm just going to lightly press these down so we've got some more looking cookie-like shaped, okay. It makes about 12. I've got 13, I think. One was a little bit smaller than the other. So, like I said, the oven wants to be on at about 180, and what we're going to do is we're going to shove the tray in, middle shelf, and we'll do one at a time. And they're going to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, so it probably won't need that long in my oven. So, in it goes, set the timer, and bob's your uncle. Alright, so catch you when they're ready. Right, so first batch have been out, second batch I've just taken out the oven. Actually I'll turn the timer off, it goes off and near off. So we leave them a couple of minutes on the tray to cool and then transfer them to a wire rack to finish cooling off. So this isn't fully cool yet, but it's pretty cool there. So we're going to taste one, okay? So it's quite, I feel it's quite soft on the inside. It's starting to brown around the outsides on the bottom. So, can't quite place flavour. You get the almond, got the chocolate. I think the browning on the bottom has also brought a bit of, not really sure what taste. Moist inside, nice little crunch on the outside. Okay. So there you go. There's your Paleo Chocolate Chip Cookies.